Good blessed Throwback Thursday, November the 25th, 2021. It's about 3:21 p.m. This is part 2 of the video that I made in Carbondale, Illinois, where I'm letting it be known that I would continue my endeavor of my fight for my son, Bryan, B-R-Y-A-N, Lamar, L-A-M-A-R, Johns, J-O-H-N-S. I will continue my endeavor, fight, or in Islam they say jihad, for my son, death, for my son's hanging, for my son lynching, March the 19th, 2021, on a Friday, in the 400 block of North Oakland Street in Carbondale, Illinois, in the Gas Lights apartment on the 3rd floor in the hallway, shirtless in the midst of winter. Shirts around the corner on the 3rd floor in the 400 block of Sycamore, sitting right next to some white female's door, so she said. Just look at the YouTubes and you will get the history on it. But you know, I'm coming today and saying that God sent me down to Carbondale, Illinois, earlier today, by myself, to let the people in Carbondale know, and if the shoe fit, wear it. I'm gonna say that 2 more times, because some people are so ignorant, they don't understand. They think I'm talking about everybody in Carbondale. But if the shoe fit, wear it. If the shoe fit, wear it. I don't care what religion you up under. I don't care what position you have. You see what I'm saying? I don't care what occupation you have. But if you have something to do with my son's death, or if you had something to say negative about my son, I'm going to speak and let the people know about you. You see, I was down in Carbondale, Illinois today. I'm a 63-year-old independent man. When I was in Islam, let me first say, Awudu Bilad Himanaz Satan Nirajim. I seek refuge with God from Satan, the rejected enemy, the accused devil. And that's you that study try to attack me. Why are some of you black men in Carbondale, Illinois, call yourself Muslims and call yourself Moorish Americans? And if it ain't you, don't worry about it. I ain't talking about you. I grew up in Cabrini Green in the 50s, 60s, and 70s with people that was born with the last name Bay. Young Bay. Cook Bay. You see what I'm saying? I grew up with them wearing their fezes. They wasn't gangbangers. They wasn't people that was out there trying to rip off the black community. They wasn't people that was out there threatening other blacks. If you don't be a part of this here. I grew up with Muslims. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim Maliki Yawmuddin. Iyaka nahabudu wa iyaka nasta'in. Ittina Saratal al-Mustaqim. Saratal Athena, and I'm talking about lay him, Gabriel McDougal lay him, Wada Darlene, Amen. Again, Awudu Bilad Himanaz Satan Nirajim. I seek refuge with God from Satan, the rejected enemy, the accursed devil. And I'm going to interpret what I said after that. In the name of God, some people say Allah. Allah is an Arabic word that means God. In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful. Praise be to God, the cherisher and sustainer of the worlds. Most gracious, most merciful, master of the day of judgment. Thee do we worship and our aid we seek. Show us the straight way, the way of those on whom thou hast bestowed thy grace. Those whose portion is not wrath and who go not astray. You see, when you land here misusing, you are your wife. You call yourself Muslim and y'all misusing homeless people, misusing people on drugs. You done went astray. You see, I don't care what position you give yourself here on earth. God is the cherisher and sustainer of the world. He's most gracious, not you. I'm sitting here videoing, going back over, showing how corrupted some of the blacks are in the NAACP, some of the black preachers, along with the Carbondale, Illinois, Jackson County Police Department, the prosecuting attorney's office, showing how corrupted, racist, and how they cover things up. But I'm sitting here, I'm talking to a couple of people. I'm right here, and they was like right where my truck at, a little bit farther. I was by this Carbondale Rebound Alternative High School, finna make a video showing about a white female teacher who's married to a black individual that called himself a Muslim. You hear what I said? Called himself a Muslim. A Muslim is one who submit himself to God. You see, when you submit yourself to God, you don't do no wrong. But I'm talking to them, telling them that I'm finna video and set out this white female that the prosecuting attorney hasn't arrested, the police haven't arrested, the NAACP working hand in hand with the Jackson County prosecuting attorney trying to have events over there to throw it off from my son hanging and all other killings down there. And here come an individual that I talked to on the phone a couple of times. He ride past us, going north on Oakland Street in his big Lincoln Continental. Then I'm watching him while I talk to the two individuals, a female and a guy, who watches my YouTube, who agree with me they don't believe my son committed suicide, who agree with me when I said the Carbondale Police Department didn't have the place sealed off because they was out there the day that my son was found hung, and they said wasn't no tape and it wasn't sealed out because they was free to move back and forward. We know they was able to move back and forward because a white female was able to take pictures of his t-shirts, his mask, in an act outside of the building. Follow my YouTubes and you'll see what I'm talking about. But here this guy go past. He's said he's a Moorish American. He's supposed to be a Grand Sheik. A Grand Sheik is one of the highest ranking, some in the Moorish American thing. And this no disrespect to nobody that stand on Moorish American. There's no disrespect to anybody that stand on Islam. But when this individual go past us, we was minding our own doggone business. You see what I'm saying? I didn't know who he was because I'm used to him seeing his fez on and always going at other Moorish American brothers because they accusing him and some of the people he know of stealing money, but that ain't my business. But I see him make a U-turn. I found out later he was an Uber driver. Why didn't he keep his behind and go ahead and do your Uber and make some money instead of coming and worried about what I was talking about to some people in Carbondale? But listen here. He turned around, he get in the middle of us, let both of his windows down, and he said, oh, I see you back, brother. And I'm looking because I didn't recognize him with his fez on. And he said, I see you back down here. Yeah, I'm videoing this here to show this white female teacher that the prosecuting attorney or the police department hasn't did nothing about her spending my son's food stamp card while he was dead. And I said, you want to get in this video? Oh, no. If it's one-sided, when he said one-sided, he's a Moorish American, and his buddy, whose wife had my son's food stamp card that got caught spending it on April the 29th, 2021, 30-something days after my son was dead, his buddy, I asked him, I said, you know who this white woman's wife is? And he said, who? That told me right there, you covering up for this individual. But I told him the name. He said, oh, that brother don't have nothing to do with it. I said, it's his wife. He said, she ain't no Muslim. I don't see too many Muslims marry non-Muslim, but if she ain't a Muslim or not, if he one who submit himself to God and he know his wife is spending my son food stamp card, then he tell me that God won't punish him, his buddy, his Muslim friend. He won't punish him for what his wife did. But I told him, let me tell you something. I should have told him this. Since you want to interrupt me talking to somebody else, I should have told him, Awudu bilad himanaz Satan rajim. I seek refuge with God from Satan, the rejected enemy, the accursed devil. But let me tell him what my name was in Islam. My name was Omar. Omar was the long living. Hakeem was the wise. And Mutakabil, if you can't spell it, let me know. Mutakabil was the independent one. In other words, I didn't follow behind Farrakhan. I didn't follow behind nobody else. I followed the Sunnah. I followed God. You see what I'm saying? I ain't follow no man that walked on the face of this earth. I follow God's instructions. But let me tell you, I told him, he tell me, he said, well, your son was a drug addict. I don't know if he used crackhead or not. He said, your son was 45 years old. He was telling this to the lady and the guy. He grown, so he just his fault. I gave your son some money, and some people told me that your son spent it on drugs. I said, number one, I said, you telling us, me and the other two people, and they had frowns on their face. They looked at the same way as me. I didn't even want to talk to. A couple times I told them peace. You see what I'm saying? But you telling me what somebody else told you. You don't know what my son spent it on. But then 6 or 7 months ago, you didn't even know my son. Back in June, you called me and telling me what the white sergeant, Guy Draper, told you. Guy Draper that a lot of people have complaints about, feeling that he might have something to do with my son's death too. But you telling me that Sergeant Guy Draper told you, you a grand sheik, you a black individual, you a grand sheik saying that you a Muslim, you a leader of somebody. But you ain't no leader of me. I don't fear you. I don't fear nobody with you. I only fear Allah, God. But you telling me what a sergeant of the Carbondale Police Department told you. You told me that the sergeant told you. This is back in June. This is November now. You called me personally and told me that the sergeant told you that my son was a rapist and he got what he had coming and the case was closed. My son wasn't a rapist. You can't find it nowhere on there. I told you that at the time when you called me. That my son wasn't a rapist. My son never been arrested or convicted for rape. You see what I'm saying? You a convicted drug dealer. So is the other individual whose wife had my son caught. But I didn't put that out. But since you want to tell me and no telling else, who else you telling, just like you told these people, my son was a drug addict. You was a drug dealer. May still be one. But you tell me that this guy and his wife, when they had my son food stamp card, my son gave it to him. He might have did give it to him, but he was addicted to drugs. He was homeless. And your so-called Muslim friend, the black individual, you see what I'm saying? I see the connection of y'all in the NAACP. Now, you see what I'm saying? Y'all working hand in hand with the prosecuting attorney in the police department and them sellout preachers, if the shoe fit, wear it down there. The sellout NAACP, because you asked me, have I talked to Linda Flowers, the president of the NAACP? You know I ain't talked to her before. She working with them people, so what I'm going to talk with her again for? But then he tell me, you my elders and you won't even listen. Yeah, I won't listen to you. I'm your elder. Listen what you just said. I'm your elder. I don't know everything, but I know what you saying. I know you can't find it in the Quran because your buddy know what his wife was doing because he told me personally that he had my son's food stamp card and other homeless people food stamp card, and they was using these people. I just want to let y'all know that's why it's taking so long. That's why they just said my son committed suicide, because they got some of these Negroes down there. And see, y'all threatening all of these people that's homeless. Y'all threatening the people that's on drugs. But one thing about me, I showed you, I came down there by myself. You see what I'm saying? By myself. I ain't scared of y'all. But the first time somebody shoot at me, the first time somebody threaten me, the first time somebody say something to my daughters, then you know what LG hard is. See, I ain't gonna be doing no talking. James Brown said we don't need none of that. He said the other night ain't nothing cutting. Y'all just down there in Carbondale, and if the shoe fit well, y'all talking loud ain't saying nothing. Both of this Grand Sheik and this other individual called himself the Muslim, I done been down there 7 or 8 times to some black individuals that had a George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Stop the Violence, and Unity for the black community, and neither one of them individuals was there. Neither one of them was there. But on May the 22nd, sometime in May of 2021, this same Grand Sheik and this same Muslim who taking advantage of homeless people like my son, they guarding the Palestinians because the Israelis was attacking the Palestinians over in another country now, and the Palestinian was marching, and they down in Carbondale doing security for the Palestinians, but they won't even do security in the black community. And then they have an audacity to be mad at me because I'm standing up for my son's death. But the statement that this Grand Sheik made down there saying that my son was a crackhead or a drug addict, he was 45 years old, if his buddy wouldn't have got his card and gave him money, somebody else would. He sounds just like that white prosecutor in the Ahmaud Arbery case that got up there and told the jury Ahmaud Arbery was just a guy running in the neighborhood, she wanted to say, in a white neighborhood where he shouldn't have been, with baggy, sagging khakis, gym shoes with no socks, and dirty toenails. That's just how you sound, man, when you told me about my dead son, man. God gonna deal with you. He gonna deal with that other brother. He gonna deal with the prosecuting attorney, because what you saying that a lie, God accepts. If anybody following you, they better read the Quran. I'm talking about the Holy Quran. I ain't talking about the little book. I'm talking about the whole, even in the little book. Yeah, everybody gonna pay for their own sins, but this individual know what his wife is doing. He know what he doing. Let me tell you, my son was getting $235 worth of food stamps, $95 worth of cash. And this Muslim guy that's married to this white woman that worked for the Carbondale school, now the alternative school, as a parent educator. Let me tell you about them, man. These individuals, they not only knew that my son was on drugs, they didn't care. You see what I'm saying? They told the police that they was giving my son $95 a month. Now get this, if my son getting $95 already on his card, which he didn't know, apparently he didn't know because they started putting it on there because of the pandemic. If he get $95 on his card cash, $234 food stamp, what would he give somebody else his card for to spend all of his food stamp and give him his $95? A drug addict ain't that stupid. But see, he told me different than he told the police, and I told the police, but the police didn't put that in his report. He told me he was getting I asked him how much he was giving my son. He said he couldn't remember because he said, I'm gonna tell you the truth, we had a whole lot of other people's cards. Do you think he trying to help them? Y'all watch out, just because a person that's said that they're a Grand Sheik or said that they're a Muslim or said that they anything dealing with trying to help other people, don't take the word of that. Hey now. Don't take the word of that. They actions speak louder than their words. That's why it's hard for me to get that thing done. And anybody in Carbondale that don't like what I'm saying, you see what I'm saying? If you ain't a part of what I'm talking about, don't let it bother. I know my Moorish American brothers and sisters that's in Chicago and other places, they know I ain't talking about them because they wouldn't do what these individuals doing. And then he get angry at me. He stopped. He made the U-turn. I didn't flag him down. He made the U-turn, trying to see what we talking about. I'm talking about Bryan, Lamar, John, and I don't care if you, your buddy, or anybody else, the toughest individuals in Carbondale, Illinois, if you took my son's life, I'm gonna make sure the feds get you. And if you come at me, I ain't gonna be like my son. You can't give me no drugs. But I got something for you. Now come looking for me if you want them. Let Sergeant Draper tell you something about me. But what you better read up, you see what I'm saying? Be careful how you entertain strangers, because some entertain angels and death unaware. You see, my son was sent there for a reason, but his life won't be in vain. And y'all don't scare me. I'm gonna come down there and I'll give y'all heads up when I'm coming. But see, if you ever do something to me, you don't want to see the people that backs me up. Peace be still.